Good morning, one. Good morning, all. This is Ned over at My Philippine Dreams, N to the E to the D over at MPD, coming at you from Dumaguete City, the city of gentle people, here on Negros Oriental. First up, a disclaimer. Nowadays, you have to have disclaimers. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes of criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, documentary, and research. This channel does not promote or encourage any illegal activities in any way. All provided content is meant for educational and documentary purposes only. All right, Lynn and I just came back from 3 days up in Sipalay. It wasn't that great of a trip because I didn't check the weather and I didn't notice that tropical depression Josie chose that time to come through our area. So basically for 3 days we had torrential downpours on Sipalay. We were basically stuck in the hotel and at the resort next door, Sulu Sunset. But while I was there, a subscriber was kind enough to notify me of some news, some breaking news, and it's better than CNN breaking news or Fox breaking news. And it had to do with the notorious Marco Modena had finally been arrested. And for those of you who don't know Marco Modena, that's not his real name; it's an alias. He is the guy behind Baybots Only, the notorious YouTube channel that's been in operation for I think over 5 years at least. And he's also got a website, and he ran it under the guise of it being a introduction agency. He said he was using it in order to, have introduce foreigners to eligible Baybots in the Philippines. So he was finally arrested, and that's the best news I've gotten in a long time. Keep in mind that Mr. Modena is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But at this point, if you've been following it for long enough, we're going to just assume he's guilty. All right, so here's the article that the news comes out of. I'll put all the links to all the information that I'm going to be providing here down in the video description box. And this comes out of Inquirer.net. This was the first agency to report on this. Man nabbed for child trafficking in Laguna. Because have no doubt in your mind what Mr. Catley, his name's not Modena, has been doing is human trafficking. San Pedro City, police arrested a man for alleged child trafficking. Mark Christian Catley, aged 45, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, he is of Filipino-American descent, who reportedly also used the aliases Dino Ferrari and William Modena, and also Marco Modena, was arrested around 10 p.m. Friday during an entrapment operation inside a hotel in Santo Tomas Town, Batangas Province, where the suspect allegedly checked in with his two victims. Chief Inspector John Paris, chief of the police anti-cybercrime office in Calabarzon, said the case stemmed from the complaint of a mother whose two children, both female, aged 14 and 15, fell victim to Catley. According to the victims, Catley would take nude photos of them and sometimes have sex with them and post the pictures online, Paris said in a phone interview on Saturday. This is the day after the arrest. Paris said the suspect was allegedly behind a pornographic site called Baybots Only that catered to pedophiles abroad. Police on Friday evening tracked down the suspect, who took his victims for dinner in a fast food chain, probably Jollibee's, before checking in at the hotel. When we came in, he and the girls were all naked, Paris said. He said the suspect, who lives in Calamba City in Laguna, targeted mostly poor girls in the city and adjacent municipalities. Catley allegedly gave his victims 150 pesos cash as payment and asked them to recruit more young girls. For instance, one of his victims was the daughter of a laundrywoman whose father was in jail, Paris added. The police charged Catley with multiple counts of rape, cybercrime, and human trafficking. And again, the link to that is down in the video description box. They're basically going to be charging him with everything under the sun. Obscene, indecent, getting child to perform obscene exhibitions, child abuse, They're going to be violating the anti-child porn laws. And mostly, I mean, first off, you got the human trafficking element. If you're running an introduction agency in the Philippines, if you're introducing foreigners overseas to Filipinos locally here in the Philippines, that is human trafficking. You are violating the law. And as soon as I realized what Catley was doing years ago, when I was preparing for my coming to the Philippines myself, I realized that things weren't all tracking true. Also, keep in mind that this guy is a Filipino American. Beyond just violating the laws, rape, exploitation, human trafficking, all this stuff, just beyond violating the laws, he targeted his own people. So he came back. He was living in the United States. He was living in California, I believe. He came back to the Philippines, has a nice house here, had a nice house in California. Guy's got money. I don't know why he's doing this. Probably because he's a sick freak. And he came back and targeted his own people, exploited his own people, which is pretty gross. Also, a special FU out to all the other Philippine expat vloggers that were buddy-buddy with this abomination, with this aberration known as Mark Christian Catley. These guys all knew what he was about. Some of these guys I sent private messages to. Some of these guys other people were messaging. If they didn't see it themselves, shame on them. But when you have everybody around you, saying the same thing, shame on you for continuing to do what you were doing. I don't know if you were doing it for the views. I don't know if you were doing it for marketing. I don't know if you were doing it for AdSense dollars, rubbing elbows and breaking bread with this piece of crap. But shame on you. Also, there was a bunch of other vloggers and other guys that were, on his channels and some of his live streams with him. So, and you guys know who you are. This has been going on for a long time. This is a comment. This is actually on Reddit. And it's Math the Magician 33, a year and a half ago, says, "It is mind-boggling to me that YouTube is allowing this out in the open. Here's the description from Catley's current live stream." So this is a description in one of Catley's live streams. "I started streaming 4 hours ago. Ads may not be displayed with this video, so please contribute to our French fries fund by using PayPal. Email baybotsonly@yahoo.com or use this link and make sure to use the friends and family service for lower fees, www.paypal.com/baybotsonly. Mission statement. We are here to help the poor girls of the Philippines from unwanted pregnancies to end their cycle of poverty by giving them hope, supporting their education and opportunities, even if it is just as simple as French fries and sharing their stories. Because another generation will be born into suffering if we do nothing." And Math Magician goes on to say, "Wow, he definitely knows the heat is on to him. He literally just said on the stream, 'I'm thinking maybe we should change our name or something because it's not like this is illegal anyways.' I mean, most members aren't paying to actually meet the girls." And then he mentions some pedo who he does know has intentions to travel to the Philippines to meet one of his girls and literally says, "Well, I don't know what may or may not happen years in the future. This is so effed up." The title of the video stream is "Lynch Mobs and the Politics of Hypocrisy." I listened to less than 2 minutes of this and had to shut it off out of anger. It's several people on the stream, not just Mark Catley. I don't know if the others were customers or fellow operators, but they are most definitely talking about how to avoid prosecution, just like we are talking about how to ensure it. It's been going on for a long time. Finally, justice is served. Also, shame on YouTube for not taking down this reprehensible character and not understanding what was going on before. There have been a number of people working in the background, notifying authorities, notifying Google, notifying YouTube, letting them know what this guy is all about. And what it took years later, years after, and God knows how many victims this guy has left behind him in his wake. It took years for a mother finally to complain to the police and for them to do an entrapment operation and catch him doing what he was doing, which was basically exploiting and having sex with underage girls. Also, if you want to take a look at a video, and this video has close to 250,000 views. It's got 238,000 views at this moment. It's called "No Child is Safe, A Day in the Life of Baybots Only." And it basically breaks down all this information. I'll put the video down in the video description box. This video is done. It wasn't done by me. back in April of 2017. So that's nearly a year and a half ago this video was done. And the link for that is down in the video description box. So it's a good day. Justice was served. This guy is presently being held on no bail. Even though he's wealthy, even though he has money, I think the authorities in this case are going to make an extreme example of him. And I don't think Baybots only, Marco Modena, a.k.a. Mark Christian Catley, is ever going to see the light of day again. He's being held on no bail. He's being charged with an array of charges, very serious charges, cyber crimes, human trafficking, rape, and everything else under the sun. This video is probably not going to be monetized for obvious reasons, but I just thought I would put it out there. I'm really happy. I'm not happy. I'm just relieved. I'm relieved that this predator is off the streets and they're not allowing him to do what he's doing. If you go to baybotsonly.com, you'll see that the website is down. You'll see that most of his YouTube channels have been taken down, and I can only assume the authorities are sifting through that with their cyber forensics teams to get more evidence against him. Until next time, and remember the disclaimer on this. This is Ned over at My Philippine Dreams. Take care, everybody, and be well.